Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to AI for Anyone Live, the weekly live show from the Human Stack, where we make AI accessible and actionable for nonprofits and social impact organizations. I am Sami Zoss.
And I'm Tim Lockie, and I'm so excited to be here and have missed the show. So I'm really glad to be back.
I need my little like. Bow, 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 bow.
I know. Where is it? I didn't even
We got it.
You make that sound really well on your own. I don't know. I don't know if you need that. the little flip curl. Yeah, it's great.
All right, Tim, you got some notes to read here before we hop over to our intro. We're excited to be back. I can read it for you.
I think you're going to have to, because I can't find those notes.
I would like to point out, though, to everybody that I talked him through that his whole intro was on the notes section of Restream this moment. Like,
I see them now, and just in my defense, I was looking at a different document. That's what I thought I was looking at. Anyway.
I think it's in that document, too.
Okay. Today we are back. This is the first show in 8 weeks. This is episode 58? Oh my gosh. That is crazy.
Wild.
So 2 months in AI time, everything has changed and nothing has changed. While we were off, AI shipped about a year's worth of news. So instead of a recap, Sami built a game. It's called Real or Fake. She's going to read a headline from the last 2 months, and I'm going to guess whether it actually happened. And folks, I have not seen this. You're going to see it too. Drop real or fake in the chat before I answer. We're doing 7 rounds. And then we get back to the part of AI that didn't change while we were gone. So, okay, Sami, let's get to it.
All right, let's do it. I get stuck in my head. Hi, Tim.
Hey.
How's it going?
It is going great.
Oh,
I cannot believe that it is August already. Like, how? What? It just feels like it's moving too fast.
What have you been doing over the last couple months? So what folks maybe who are joining for the first time or haven't seen us in a while, I think it's important for folks to know that this is the longest break we've taken, and it sort of came out of the blue. Usually we would plan a break like that, but we started to realize how exhausted and overwhelmed we were this summer. And rather than force content out and keep pushing in a field like you're going to hear today that is constantly like revolutionizing itself, we were like, look, you've got a lot going on. I've got a lot going on. Let's take our time, focus in on the Human Stack and what we're doing there, give everyone a break for the summer, and let's come back and hit the ground running in August. And so for folks who are wondering, like, why did we sort of just like all of the sudden take the 2 months off? It was not planned. We will be better at planning in the future. Hopefully, I don't know, 2 like massively ADD, ADHD people, unlikely. But do know that we missed you guys, and we'd love to catch you up on sort of like all the things. I know, Tim, you were doing a ton of travel. You went to a few conferences and summits and all the things. So tell us about that and what you've been doing at the Human Stack.
Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of a crazy aside that because I was going and traveling, I ended up sitting next to the co-founder of Jack Link's Jerky. I know, it was the most random thing. Anyway,
I'm also intrigued as to where this is going to go. Like,
I'm literally just giving flavor here, but he did send me, this is so cool. And it goes to, well, anyway, he sent me a case of those little chew tobacco things. I used to get these as a kid. They're like, you know what I'm talking about? I haven't seen them in years. I found out.
Well, if people don't know what they are, is they're literal. They look like a chew can, like the circular chew can, and it's just shredded up jerky, and it demolishes your lips. By the way,
it is so. It's also their highest profit margin product because it's basically a tiny amount of meat and a bunch of air. Anyway, this guy sent me a case, and it was interesting.
Send him my address. What?
I know, right? So I sent him a selfie of me with a whole thing of these things, and I was like, you know, I can't believe you kept your word on this. And he was like, I'm a man of my word, and you're a fan for life. And it hit me how true it was. Like
Stewardship.
I know. I look when I go through like and I'm at stores. I go through the aisle. I'm like, oh, there's Jack Links, and I know that guy. It is wild, and I think my point on that is just how connected humans are, and I feel like I got such a taste of that just in this little bit. So, I was going to conferences I went to, especially the one I want to talk about the most was Good Tech Fest, put on by my friend Andrew Means and Brian Komar. And these are some of the most mover and shaker people actually doing wild stuff in the tech world. I sat next to one woman who was like, yeah, we just won our case against the Supreme Court last week, and it was a big one. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, you're like in the midst of all of these things? And she was like, all of it's easy compared to the Supreme Court. So we're like, good. I am not afraid to take on anything. So people like that. It was very fun.
That's a little surreal.
Yeah, it was very cool. Yeah, very cool. How about you? What have you been up to?
It feels like a whole lot of everything and a whole lot of nothing. I hate feelings like that. I'm also in this habit of feeling extremely tired. I'm yawning a ton on meetings. And so I'm not quite sure if I just like went too crazy this summer, which I don't mean that in like the most fun way. I just mean like went too hard in life and work, or if I should probably go to the doctor and figure something out.
No.
Right? Like, well, because if you're this tired all the time, but I think the summer has been so rewarding for me though. So as much as I'm like, I don't necessarily know why I am exhausted or why I was so sort of like, I was in a similar spot to you and I wasn't traveling as much, but I still felt like this amount of like overwhelm and pressure on what we were doing. And I'm not quite sure why. And so I think it's actually been really nice to take a couple months, step back and figure out like, what are we doing at the Human Stack? What is the state of the nonprofit sector? What are things out there that are existing? You know, people are really just surviving right now. And so it's been really nice to be able to focus on our clients and helping them get through some of that in this state of nonprofits and even, you know, social impact small businesses today. So super fun. I've actually been doing a lot of work with one of our preferred partners, or industry partners. You have better language than I do. Ascendably, and they actually just released a blog today. So later on, when I've got Tim on some sort of rant, I'll get a QR code up there, so everyone can go check out the Give Merit success story. Oh, trust me, when you see this game, you will have some rants. There's a reason there's only 7 headlines I'm showing. It's because each of them sparks what could be another hour-long conversation.
Oh my gosh.
It's so fun.
And Ascendably, so I am so excited about Ascendably's work. They are.
Which, speaking of, Melane's joining us today for the first time, who works at Ascendably. She's just going to show up as LinkedIn user here, but so excited to have you, Melaine. So wonderful. She's a great like colleague and partner to have, and she's done a lot of work with Matt and the Ascendably team, and really the Human Stack team to try and like get the word out about what we do, especially with managed success and digital guidance. And Matt could not produce better success stories. I mean, he's such a good leader in that.
Oh my gosh. It is. Yeah. I was telling somebody about how I created the system and then Matt is just doing it so well. And I had this realization, like, I'm really good at inventing and thinking of these things. I am not great at maintaining it. Just watching Matt go and create success for clients like systematically just over and over is really fun. And then so yeah, I'm really excited about Assembly. I love that they are launching their blog today, or they've got a blog up today. That is great.
Yes, they do. I'm gonna actually, I'm so close to getting it up that I'm just gonna put it up here really quick because it's also a fun little shout out to our friend Kuhu and the team at Give Merit. And it's called When Give Merit Stopped Buying Software and Started Buying Success. And I just want, like, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to find a way to hide this QR code on the screen for most of the day because it's such a fun blog. And it really does highlight what we at the Human Stack and what we at Ascendably, because I do see us as sort of like one in a lot of ways, what we've been telling people, we now have the evidence to back up. And it's the coolest thing. And I'm actively on the floor with both organizations, helping Matt on one side really look to, you know, we've got organizations that are much larger than Give Merit that need sort of like a hybrid version of managed success, right? Where they've got departments that almost need their own digital guidance every week, and it's just chaos. And then we're working with Furniture Bank out of Canada and implementing it up there, and that's a whole different thing. And they're going through transitions while we're also trying to establish consistency, essentially. And so it's just such an interesting time to be doing some of this with them. And I love that we get a chance to highlight such an amazing organization and Give Merit, such an amazing partner in Ascendably. And also, this is a really well-written blog in partnership with a lot of our other partners, right? We've got Laura Crowdenson here helping. We got to hang out with the Give Merit crew more. You and I were in on this. Like, this was just such a fun, like, little love child of all of us that I'm like very proud of it. And I did not actually touch a word on this page.
I also, one of the things I'm really excited about this is that it actually is launching a dream I've had for years and years. And I see Tim Santonio is on. Tim has heard me talk about this so many times.
Like, oh my gosh, quit.
I know. I feel like it's perfect here. But the thing that I care a lot about in the difference between a software partner and a success partner is that success partners actually care about their work and holding themselves accountable. One of the things I love is that Ascendably is running a benchmark every year on their progress. I do that benchmark. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. And just watching the numbers show, if you can't measure it, it's not transformation. I just want to say that right now. If you cannot measure it, then it is not transformation. And Ascendably is actually doing work that creates measurable transformation. I really love that. So, yeah.
Yes, I completely agree. So I do want to make sure we have time to get to our game today, but I just wanted to give everyone an idea of what we've been up to, what we've sort of had our time filled doing, and kind of say hi, right? Like it's been a minute since we've seen everybody. I love that we've got some new ones coming on. We've got some people watching over on YouTube. We've got some people watching on LinkedIn. And so thank you to everyone who's joining us after our little hiatus. Please put in the chat as we're going along whether or not you think the headline is real or fake. Each round has a number. And I do want you to put the number before you say real or fake, because sometimes they come in a little late. And I want to make sure that I'm tying them to the right one, because I think that's just super fun. And I'd hate for you to put fake and me be like, Megan, how dare you think that's fake? Because I'll absolutely call Megan out. Not really, even. She's wonderful. It would be like if Tim Lockie were commenting, I would call him out.
Yeah, I think you would. I think
you
think that might happen.
I absolutely would.
I think that might happen. I don't know for sure, but
oh my gosh, I love it. So anyway, we're gonna hop on. Tim, I'm gonna have you kind of doing this live with us, right? So Tim hasn't seen these per usual. Tim, I never show Tim what we're doing when we show up for the day, so it makes it fun for me, and it sometimes is really fun to see if he's like, that's 100% not what I would have said. Let's talk about it. So I'm going to move over. I've got a little cheat sheet. I also need to make sure I have up sort of looking at, because I've got some things for us to talk about as we go along with it. I think I've got everything sized and set up. Any questions, Tim or chat, before we get going?
I don't have any questions. I am super curious about this. So let's go.
All right. First round one. So in the chat, right? Drop one and then real or fake, what you think. So round one, the IRS now allows approved AI agents to auto file your Form 990 with board e-sign off.
Oh my
what do you
gosh.
think?
I do not think the IRS could get themselves together enough to approve that. No way. No, I think that's fake.
You think that's fake?
I think it's fake.
All right. I'm going to give the chat just a minute or two to comment. A couple things to note in here. AI assisted e-file software does exist, right? So that even though Tim's guess here is fake, the software itself does exist.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, can it do it? Yes.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
But Tim, you are absolutely right here. It is fake. That being said, they're already filing adjacent, right? The line between AI assisted and AI executed continues to thin. And it thins in a way that I would suggest most policy start to address. So if I were to give, I've kind of got, so people know I love to do like the whole, let me show you how we build the episodes. I won't share my screen on this, but I've got a table right in front of me that I'm looking at that's got the headline that I'm reading aloud, the answer, so I know it in advance in case I forgot. Also got talking points, blind spots, and watcher actions. The talking points seem self-explanatory. The blind spots are what Tim and I might not natively mention. Sometimes it is things that we would have mentioned, sometimes it's not. And then the watcher actions are the, hey, if you're watching this, here's sort of an action that you could probably take based on the learnings from this headline. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, really quick pause. Tim Sarantonio's talking about the Generosity Spectrum running their next game on August 18th. Tim, we should have you pop on at the end of the episode.
I know. I totally agree. I agree. We should, Tim.
Tim Lockie, while I pop up the next one, why don't you send in the restream link, the invite link?
Yeah.
And then Tim Sarantonio, 1, if you want to join early, you can play real or fake with us. 2, hop on at the end and tell us about the Generosity Spectrum the next game you're playing. Megan played it once and she loved it. And I would absolutely love to have Tim. He could probably explain it better than we can, is basically what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So while Lockie sends over to Sarantonio, that's going to be really hard for me.
I know.
The link to invite him to the stream here. Round 2, charitable giving just crossed $600 billion for the first time in U.S. history. And a third of all individual mega gift dollars came from one single donor. So for it to be real, it all has to be real. Because I know there's kind of 2 statements in there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that this smells like parts of it are true, but not all of it. So I'm going to go with fake on this one.
Where do you think I would have looked for the sourcing on this? Oh, wow. Tim's quick.
I know, right? I think, wait, on the sourcing for this?
Yeah, where do you think I would have gotten?
Effective Philanthropy Project could be one, or AFP,
the Fundraising Effectiveness Project.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you look at FP? This one would actually be coming from Giving USA 2026.
Okay.
So it just came out. I'm gonna add Tim Sarantonio to the screen. I like that we've got a couple folks on the, what does this say? Oh, he's working on his here. I'll move his hide camera, keep audio for the moment. We've got some differentials. So a couple on YouTube are saying real, a couple are saying fake, and then same on LinkedIn. Tim says fake. It's real.
Oh my gosh.
From Giving USA Today.
Wow.
Or Giving USA 2026. Sorry. 80% in the, so you can kind of see it here. Just over $600 billion recorded. Individual share is down 64% from the 80% in the mid 80s. That's not new news. Our friend Brian Gower, who actually just took a job at Cleveland, I think it's Cleveland State in Ohio. He was just talking, like he gives a nice like overview of the Giving USA report and meets with that group when they kind of go over it. He's definitely got a much better, here's what this means on it. I tend to get more pessimistic when I see this information.
I know.
It's always dollars up and donors down, right?
Which single donor?
I didn't pull that into this. Where did that go? I had it and then I edited my table. Dang it. You want to do some Googling while I talk through the blind spots and watcher actions?
Yeah, let's see it. I'll try and find it in the background. Yep.
Blind spots, things that we as a group might not natively think of. Green dashboards can definitely hide a shrinking base, right? So dollars up can hide the fact that you are in fact in trouble, which is crazy. So a record built on fewer deciders means fewer hands choose which needs get met. Concentration, as we know, can be a democracy problem, not just a revenue mix. Things that you could do today, pull your donor count, and specifically your donor count trend for 5 years, not just your dollar trend. So remove the revenue from the trending really quick and see, like, is your donor count increasing or decreasing? And then put those numbers against, are you increasing or decreasing with those dollars? Did a quick Google search give it to you? I can't remember. I know I had it written down too, but this is what I get for prepping in advance.
Well, so it's not giving me a name. What it gave me was 2 names, but it was like from like Mackenzie Scott and Michael Bloomberg.
Here, let me just ask the conversation that I used to help build this. What one donor gave the third
person out here
of
using
individual?
Google like a noob instead of AI. So who knows if that's.
I still love to use Google for what it's worth. Just a quick Googling. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Round 3. A fundraiser handed his campaign to an AI agent, and it raised about £2,000 and tried to break into his WhatsApp. Real or fake?
Oh, I think that. I mean, that could so happen.
I want to point out that the notes for like the podcast says fun round. Let Tim riff.
I mean, so I literally just saw something the other day where someone like gave something to OpenClaw and it hired somebody on neighbor.com or neighborhood or whatever that app is to come and like do a handyman job for them. So like very, very possible. I'm gonna say real.
All right. What is our chat? While our chat's loading up their thoughts, I do want to point out the reason why the Giving USA stat didn't show up is because it was actually in, and here's why I didn't remember it and I didn't quote it specifically. It was in Nathan Chappelle, co-founder of Fundraising AI's Shrug Philanthropy blog a couple weeks ago. And so I'd seen it. And so it's roughly 1/3 came from Mackenzie Scott of individual donors, of individual dollars, I should say. Yeah. So, all right, we've got Bilha, Megan, Nicole. They're all saying real. You say real. You are correct.
Real. Yes. Good.
Capability and chaos in one story, right?
Is it weird how much I care about getting this right? Like, I'm like, wait, I wanna get this right. So anyway, yes.
Look, you want to motivate someone with ADD or ADHD, give them a competition.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. It's so true.
And you know what? It entertains the masses, right? Like they get to enjoy and learn a little bit along the way. I'm a big fan of like sneaky education.
Yeah. Yep. You are.
I did a trivia night actually at Camp Gilbert this year for the first time, and we
and like your hackathons too. Like you you really love watching people grow and develop. Something I love about
and through like things that they don't realize they're doing it. That's my favorite. It's like, oh, you
learned
a really valuable lesson there.
That is so true. It's more fun for you if you sneak it in and they don't know it. I like that.
It's so
I've
true.
never noticed that before. Okay, Tim is here.
Yes. I was gonna say we can see you, Tim. I just want to make sure you're okay with us turning it on.
I don't get why this is the one camera that works.
I like it. Is this your ceiling fan cam? Like this is awesome.
I have like this thing that allows you to kind of move the shit. Right? Like
I love it.
That's what we got today. Okay.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Or I can always just like put my puppet.
Stop. Tim, oh my God.
We can have this be, you know what? We're going to do
awesome.
this. We're going to do this. We're going to have the puppet do it today. So
that's awesome.
So I'm here.
Wait, hold on. Can we play the Muppet song in the background?
I don't think we have. We don't have the copyright for that.
Yeah. Okay, really quickly. I'm going to pull back.
Amazing.
Everybody say hi, Tim.
This is actually
Mitt. It doesn't matter which one you say hi to.
Hi, Tim Sarantonio.
And then, what's the puppet's name?
Mitt.
Mitt. I got it. Mitt. This is
actually, I'm going to be honest, a lot more comfortable for me to do today. So
I love it. Do it that way.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Zero shame on our end.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, Mitt, tell us really quickly, 30 seconds, who is Tim Sarantonio and what does he do? So we can then have a nice intro towards the end for us to be able to talk through what you do. I think we also lost him Lockie.
He's a loudmouth that injects himself into other people's rooms, it seems. So
look, we love inviting you, and I love that you always say yes if you can.
Yeah. So Tim Sarantonio is the founder of the Generosity Spectrum. He's the chair of the Fundraising Effectiveness Project. He also serves as, this is so weird talking in the third person, and he serves, my daughter does that, and he serves as a member of the Bottom Up work group on trust for the Aspen Institute, and he also gets puppets of himself. So
I need to ask Tim where he got the puppet of himself, because I'm for sure using that in the future.
Etsy. So I found an Etsy person. So this came out of an AI talk. Because this
I love this so
I need
much.
to almost move myself out of it. We're just gonna do it. So Eric Tamales, who many of you may know, is at Avid AI. And so he started posting. Okay, that's what am I looking at?
Let him finish. Oh shoot. Let him finish talking, because this is a really good one that I want to get into.
So so they started posting Muppetize Me AI photos. And I said, that's not good enough. So I went and made a real puppet.
Oh, I'm such a fan.
So
this is so good.
Well, we need more art, right? Like, it helped inspire it. But, now I think what we're looking at on Tim's screen is making a case not to do puppets.
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
This is the puppet that I made when I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
I don't know. He said what he said.
How many meetings did you have after with the counselor after you made that?
All right, Mitt, we are playing a game.
Yeah, let's keep playing. Let's
do it.
We're moving on. Let's move back into your content. I'm
so excited. No, thank you for joining us. You know how much we love. We wouldn't invite you if we didn't love it. So thank you so much, truly. We're on round 4. We've got 7-ish rounds. This one I want us to take a little bit of time with, because it brings up some interesting things. But round 4, everyone go ahead and put in the comments what you think. A beloved science YouTuber, and this has happened in the last 2 months, right? While we were off. So a beloved science YouTuber paused his channels after admitting his AI use had become an unhealthy dopamine habit, otherwise known as he felt like he was addicted. They felt like they were addicted to the AI, essentially.
Now it's the fault in your content marketing stars.
Stop. That's so good. It's close though. It's not. It's.
I know. I get them mixed up.
Gosh, that's good though, Tim.
That is good.
Admit,
yeah.
Whoever the hell you are.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to give folks a chance to.
All right. Yeah. Put your votes in on this one. True or false? Fake or real?
Tim, Lockie, what do you think? Preferably before hints.
I think. Man, what do I think? I think this very much could be real. I think it's real. I think it's really happened.
I feel like.
I mean, this for sure is happening. Whether people are pausing or not, that's the big question. It's for sure happening all over the place. But yeah,
absolutely. We've got a couple in here that say it sounds real. We've got YouTube and LinkedIn comments. So this is actually real, and it is real. Hank Green. Which John Green wrote The Fault in Our Stars. Hence Mitt's pun there. John Green is Hank Green's brother.
And Hank lives in Montana, by the way,
and John lives in Indianapolis.
We won't fault him for that.
Of course not.
I kept trying to run into John Green, and when I lived in Indianapolis, where would he be? I do want to make a very important point here, though, because I think Hank Green's getting a lot of flack for this, that he would even use AI in the first place. And that is, A, very much not the point of us bringing this up, and B, not what I don't think that's the learning here. I don't think the learning is how dare you. And Tim Sarantonio, I'm sure you share a version of this with Tim Lockie and I, which is it's not cheating to use AI. It is. There are versions of it that can feel like that, and there are dependencies there. But a generalized statement of it's not cheating to use AI, I feel comfortable saying if it's got the right framing.
I do. I think where some of the, and admittedly, I haven't been I don't care enough to follow deeply. But,
fair.
But his content's fine. It's just they produce so much. It's I got other stuff to. I got
100%.
I got Dungeons and Dragons Ginny D videos to watch instead. But I think that the thing that was very pertinent though is but you can hire people to help you. Like you have the business infrastructure to do that. Like, and let's be real, the moment that I had a little bit of capacity because my launch went well, things are going well on the Generosity Spectrum side. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to get freaking Puppet. I'm going to make this with real art, right? And so we're going to pay the people to do that. The very first things I started projecting out the moment my launch started to show promise was real social media content help in terms of design and stuff like that, because I haven't been satisfied with like the Canva outputs and the basic things. I have some really wild stories when it comes to like where I think it's going from a business standpoint. My website designers, before they introduced AI, they were looking at a very straightforward standpoint, and it was like a quote for 64 hours. I don't, $85 an hour. I can't do that. I told my best friend, I was like, I think I had to go a different direction. They started to look through. They got it down to 9 hours. Right? After using Corsa and some other stuff like that. And then I even started messing around with Lovable, taking the apps and designs and CSS files that they did. So I just think that Hank's overall point was almost a lack of an imagination on why he started doing it. And I'm going to make it a case that it also is extending to the business design. And guess what? Nonprofit tech, y'all, I came back from Bridge. Not a lot of creativity, real creativity. So, it's
I mean, well, just to say on that though, like, and one of the things to notice there is that you took instead of a
my wife just saw what was happening right now, so
she's like, what in the world?
No, we love
instead of 60 hours though, you're using AI through Lovable. Like that's part of it. Is actually, this is part of being creative, is figuring out how it's going to work for you. Like I am not at all faulting you for that. I think that's a wise move. I think that's just my point.
Because I was able to identify from a business standpoint, like this is where I need human oversight.
Absolutely.
This is where I need like the original design, even for the website, which was a Shopify website to start, generosityspectrum.org. And so that I needed a human. My best friend donated his time. He stepped up and is like, I'm going to help you. I'm going to get you in touch with a good developer that can actually take what that vision is and translate it in. And that's the part where she's even like, I'm going to rethink how I approach my work, because now she can help more people as opposed to just focusing on like one client for 64 hours. She can help 6 clients build something that like works. And there was stuff we had to fix. Like you have to have a human there to do it. What was the thing that even came out? Like DoorDash, like people, they're running into issues with automation because they need a person to physically put the stuff in the cart, right? It's like this art, humanity, all this type of stuff ain't going away, right?
Nope.
But I will say one thing. It's really interesting to hear you point this out, San Antonio, because I think you do a good job of balancing, like, don't let people use the learning as an excuse or like a get out of jail free card kind of like understanding the implications of your choices.
Yeah.
I also think, because I tend to default to, I would rather people play and get it wrong first than never play and stay in an age where it takes not too long. I think I'm, if you haven't noticed, I'm not your most like, articulate of the two of us, but I do that on purpose. I have to workshop something, right? So Lovable is beautiful for me because I will stand up a Lovable site just to see how I want it to flow. And then I'll go build it somewhere else, right? Or I'll hand it to somebody saying, I want you to build it like this, but with these things. And I think I don't fault, and I hope others don't fault Hank for utilizing AI in his work. What I wish was that he had a team around him to help. I don't even fault him for going, like, I build our production playbook and our artifacts for these, and to be fair, it's an AI episode, like it's an AI podcast.
Yeah.
But there are times I'm not looking at it until the morning of, because I've done all of the pre-work to get there. And I trust that Hank's done the pre-work to get there. What I wish was that it wasn't his fans that noticed things started sounding differently. He had the right oversight in his setup, his production team, in himself, to be like, this doesn't feel like me. This doesn't feel like the authenticity that I offer. How do I make this better?
I am so itching to get humans, because I'm a one-person shop. at this point, right? I don't work for a big
Yeah.
tech company anymore. And so
Oh God, that's probably different for you.
Very, very 14 years
Forget
at one
about that.
place. And so, you know, I don't have email list. I can just like I had to start basically from scratch for everything in December. And without some of these tools, I mean, I was sending out postcards to targeted, you know, folks in my list. I was standing up sites that would take me weeks before to even envision, you know, tools. For my bridge workshop last week, I had a Lego workshop. Mitt was there.
Heyo.
And so I created an artifact that takes like a JSON file from the cards that we played in the game, the sheets that we played. Basically, I sent them off on a break. And within a half an hour, I had scanned and loaded in the Claude a sense-making analysis that I then showed them in a prototype in Lovable. And I'm going to go back to them and say, how can we improve this? It was like a recurring donor studio that matches up. This is the best character archetype that matches this nonprofit. Here are some recommendations from like Erica Wastorp and Dana Snyder and, you know, Dave Raley and Ken Burnett and like all these smart people that I've worked with over the years. And I think that's the trick. Somebody like Hank needs to rely on their people.
Yeah.
I'm relying on my people. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without then gut checking to the experts in either recurring giving or technology or ethics in how to do any of this type of stuff. And I feel like I've been able to maximize, right? If you watch the last season of The Bear, they kept talking about maximizing. We're going to maximize.
There is one reason I will watch that show, and it is not likely the same reason as many of my peers, but I'm in love.
With the food or
sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the food. I just like, you know,
the same reason I love Shameless.
Okay, or the washboard abs of the main character.
Not even the abs, just him as an aura. Let me know.
He was such a sad boy, though. He was such a sad boy in the last like 2 seasons. So you know, drama's real. Drama's real.
Drama is real.
Sometimes you need to do puppet therapy. Like even people brought up that skit like with Bill Hader and Seth MacFarlane on SNL when they had the puppet, and it's like, I saw things in Vietnam, right? It's like, it sounds ridiculous when you do it with this. But I think we just need, like, what I think AI, when it's used properly, in conjunction with art, right? I work with a lot of artistic organizations. My father's an author. Look, Anthropic stole almost all my dad's books to you know, train their models. I love Claude, right? Like, what are you going to do? And for me, I think that there's lines that I want to draw where it's like, I need the human in this part of the process because it makes me happier.
Yes.
Right. And I think
I love that.
Like, it's not about pushing out more content, because in corporate America, I'll tell you for a fact, all it is drive more crap. Drive more crap to get more crap in order to get more money and make number go up. And for the nonprofit space, if you embrace the creativity and the actual freedom, I've seen small nonprofits do amazing things. Like my fiscal partner, Ben Williams, uses AI very, very focused for, he's like, I want to help it clean up my email inbox, right?
Yes.
Like he's getting excited about Claude Cowork doing stuff like that. It's like, we're moving away from the basics. Because it's moving so fast. I sat down in Bridge because they had me sit down at the Amazon business booth and talk fundraising and AI. Had a nice little group. You know what I talked about the whole time? Because immediately people are like, this model, that model. I'm like, I don't give a shit about models. Okay? Stop talking about that. I don't even necessarily care about, like, is it Gemini? Is it this? I said, what's your ethics policy? What's your usage policy?
Yes.
We did a whole thing where I worked with Dave Woodley and created an entire data dictionary, because this woman from a Catholic school was like, I'm making a new database. We have this old IBM database and we're recreating it. And I said, do you have a data dictionary for it? For your users? Use AI to take the table infrastructure and say, give me a plain spoken version of a data dictionary for the new database.
Yes, I'm doing that with a nonprofit right now. Tim and I do that with our clients all the time. Of like South Dakota's got this funding right now for AI training for businesses and implementation, and it's actually kind of crazy that they've come out with it, and shout out to the South Dakota Department of Labor Regulation for doing it. and it's nonprofits are eligible, right? So I've been on this like campaign of like, hey, oh, this isn't even like a grant. This is just like a state funding you have to apply for.
Yep.
And in some of the trainings that we're offering, the first that you can choose sort of like what topic intensives you want, but one that you can't choose that has to come with everyone is responsible beneficial use foundations. Like,
Yep.
how are you starting off on the right foot with the right foundation? And I think that's something that we try to do at the Human Stack across the board. For that reason, it's also why Tim Sarantonio,
you folks have been teaching me this for a while.
Sense.
Yeah.
What was that?
You folks have been teaching me and other people like this for a long time, and this is kind of some of the foundation stuff that I think even fundraising.ai kind of embraced when it was first starting out. And so yeah, let's keep going. I don't know if you have more rounds and stuff like that, but
we got 3 more rounds, so we'll crank through these because they are not as the Hank Green one really was one that I thought was probably going to drive the most conversation. So
sorry,
that's why I put it where I did.
Mouth a bit.
Why?
This one? The next one.
All right, round 5. I want to hear from the crowd too. Meta launched a Causes AI, which auto donates spare change based on your scroll sentiment. What do you guys think?
I think that, well,
I hope to God, no. I hope not.
Right, exactly.
What about you, Lockie?
Okay, well, so I'm of 2 minds on this. One, I think it's false.
I don't think they make money off of it, so that's why I don't think they're doing it.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess the question I'm asking, it's like the Amazon Smile thing. Does it actually even help at the end of the day? I think that's my question. And if it does, if it is actually raising money and it is not more effort for nonprofits, then I hope it's real. I don't think it's happening. And I don't even know what scroll sentiment is. I'll just out myself there and say,
yeah, and we're working with Good United for the Nonprofit Social Media Summit, for instance. And I think I would have flagged this.
Yeah.
And if it's true, then yeah, okay, thank God. Because, well, more realistically, from a fundraising standpoint, where things are useful is like WhatsApp chats, right? Like if you can get somebody conversationally, which is a decent usage for the beginning stages of like an AI chatbot in that case, but creative hellscape idea. To have that, that's a creative idea. I think it's a terrible idea in terms of I hope they never build it, but
yes,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, and I think that I think you're right that it would not make them money, so I don't think they'll do it.
Correct.
Just over and over. Yeah.
No, they need to put cool glasses on. I know people who are they're going to get the Meta glasses. I'm like, you're going to get tossed out of so many coffee shops.
I know. The nerd in me wants to test the person that hates the hippie in me doesn't.
The surveillance culture. Yeah.
Yes, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't want to linger too long on this one, but I do want to note that they are moving their donations from Facebook giving and all that stuff to PayPal Giving Fund. And that's not that new for nonprofits. They use that often. What I would say, and what I think some of our partners would say, and this is a Sami comment opinion, is if you want to have the one-on-one relationship with your donors that many of you do, go to PayPal Giving Fund and you can export that donor data, reach out and migrate those recurring gifts to your system, or at least even let them know, it's fine if you want to continue to give to our organization through this. Here's what that means. Just to give them some of that education, because it is, and this is where Brian Gower, the friend I mentioned earlier, he would come in and note that look, people want to give where they want to give. And so it's not the nicest thing to hear, but PayPal Giving Fund is a hell of a lot easier for me to scroll and pick the 3 nonprofits I want to give to and say yes to. I don't want them to do that because I work in the stewardship and interrelational world, but the tech side of me and the ease of use and user experience side, I get it. And so this is where using this platform to be able to tell people you can go export that data, contact your donors. They're not supposed to make it that difficult for you. They do. Keep pushing and get a hold of those donors if you want that one-to-one relationship, and then let the donors choose from there. Go ahead, Tim.
And well, no, it's just Brian's awesome. Brian's part of our guardians of the game in the Generosity Roundtable Network. So it's kind of like advisors.
Guardians of the game.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear him launch the secret fundraising, or what is it? Secret Fundraising Club or Secret Fundraising Podcast or something like that. It's outrageous.
There's just so many
ridiculous
possibilities. So Brian's great, but like I always remember John Hayden, who passed 2 years ago, but like he was such an inspiration. Wrote a great book called Donor Care, and kind of the line I would always go back is like, they are not your donors, you are one of their charities. And from an underlying psychological generosity standpoint, because that's what my work is focused on, is how can people be more confident about generosity, identity, and trust. And what ultimately drives giving is not like they were asked, right? Like that's what we're optimizing for with AI is speed. And that's not why people give. Some people like the speed, right? I had an executive at a CEO who, like, the first time I talked to them, we got into an argument because I was like, psychology doesn't back anything you're talking about, like, at all.
Oh God, we could have a whole episode on that, Tim. I'd be so interested.
Also,
I'll fix my camera then. That's the thing. I was fucking around, and so it's like,
on that, one of the things that is missing from that conversation, and the former CEO of our, anyway, all that aside, there's a big difference between trust and relationship. We have 100%. A trust problem, and we keep mistaking that for a relationship problem, and those are not identical. They're related, but they're not the same. And I just feel like that, I keep coming back to that, because in the world of AI, if you're using AI to create a relationship, you might be harming the actual factor that you're trying to create, which is trust.
Well, yeah, and look, you know, studies are saying, like, look, you know, autonomous agents are more effective fundraisers, and all we're doing is focusing on quarters.
Yes,
absolutely.
We're not, and the practical reality, if we go back to, and while I'm annoyed at my camera, I cannot figure out why. Like, it's just like, I have to
believe it's Restream and not your fault.
Because I showed up for a second. I showed up for a second on the real thing, and now I'm like cricking my neck and using a puppet to like keep people's attention. But like when we were talking about the FEP data, the practical reality is that like
FEP is fundraising effectiveness.
Fundraising effectiveness project. Yes, explain your acronyms. Thank you. It's the teacher in me. I got to get back to that. The practical reality is that a lot of the things that we're focusing on with that data, number one, it's traditional nonprofit giving data. So we're not necessarily picking up like YouTube live streams, you know, like if we were running a fundraiser during this, there's a possibility and a good chance it wouldn't get picked up. Right.
Yeah.
So traditional philanthropy, but then you're optimizing for speed when there's a lot of evidence to show that transformational gifts are going to be much more meditative, much slower, right? This is Jen Shang, Adrian Sargent wrote Meaningful Philanthropy within the last year or two, and it's focused on ultra high net worth individuals. They don't want your recurring giving upgrade pop-up. They don't care. They're not going to give that way.
God.
I have so many people, because I ran my launch as a hybrid because I have a fiscal sponsor. So I have people giving donor advised fund gifts and grants to the initiative. Daft people, it's a conversation, right? But they're going to care not about the speed of the gifts or the things or that. They just want to know, am I living up to the promises that I'm making? And so I think a lot of this is like misrepresenting and misunderstanding speed as efficiency. And you can be very meditative and set up an amazing plan giving program that can integrate things like AI for engagement, but that's a very slow personal process. So
yeah, Tim, because I know that you could keep going on this. I'm going to make you put a pin in that, because I think we could do a whole
I'm done. Shut up, Tim. Shut up. Yeah.
No. Look, I know we don't know each other well, but hopefully by now you know that I have no problem also being like, hey, we're going to move back to this. But I do want to note that you've sparked a lot for me, because some of those are antithesis to what I practice in some of my, like in what we do with some of our clients. And so I do think there's a very real thread there that we need to make sure we set a time to actually revisit. So there's the learnings to be had.
I actually want to get into round 6 now, because I don't know the answer to this one. So I'm really,
this is a really fun one, and I'm going to have this be our last one.
Yeah.
So we did have a couple folks answer already. The round 6 is a donor advised fund now takes plain English commands, and a major foundation is funding AI agents that donate to nonprofits on their own. So we had Bill Haas said fake. Nicole on YouTube said true. Megan said true. What do you guys think? This is our last one.
I think just from a behavior standpoint, you probably threw a true in here at the end, so I'm gonna go with that.
I love that
solely.
you logic through things like that with me.
I'm metagaming it. I'm metagaming it.
Yep.
It's I don't know the actual answer. I'm gonna metagame answer it and say it's true.
I'm gonna go with true on it, but I want to qualify. I think that the amount that they are funding, it is a small amount.
It's a pilot.
So I think they're
it's like
running
a pilot if they're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Explain. I got nothing to add on this one. I don't know about it. So what's going on?
So number one, I want you both to be writing blog posts about this in the next week because I think it'd be very interesting. I want you to go. I'll send you the links to where I found this.
Please.
Because it's two different orgs, right? Daffy's Quick Donate and the Gates Foundation's AI for Giving Challenge are both doing a version of this. I want to say, I think there's more conversation to be had here, so we can each have a couple points. But the biggest takeaway from something like this is if it's existing, you want to weigh whether or not, as this grows, if it grows, weigh whether or not you want your donation pages readable by AI. Because many have it sort of like where you can't scrape your website. And in a lot of reasons, I agree with that. However, in the spirit of if the corporate world's doing it, nonprofit can't be left behind. And that's a horrible, like, I think there's way better philosophical ways to say that. But I do worry about our nonprofit partners who try to stand on philosophy only getting left behind on something like this. I understand why you wouldn't want your website being scraped. But if donors are starting to get used to putting in, I want to give to, let's talk about Project Camp, right? An organization that supports pop-up emergency day camp services post-natural disaster within 48 hours.
Yeah.
I understand the expediency of a donor going to their DAF and saying, I want to give to this sort of thing. And it pops up after scanning all of the 990 in the world websites saying, here are the types of orgs. And here's like, we can donate and then go. Right.
So
like,
Marnie Webb from TechSoup is really out in front of some of this with a knowledge graph idea that is very interesting about this. And that's another whole podcast of its own.
I think we had a lot of episodes coming this month.
But I just want to say, like, if you would want to rank on Google, the answer to this question is yes, make your page scannable by AI.
And
how much control? That should just be the.
Well, yeah, but how much control does an individual nonprofit at this point have over that from a processing standpoint anyway? If it's being run by a third party, like a technology company, once it hits the donation page, which I believe this is what's focusing on, right?
Oh, I get what you're saying. So like if I'm using Fundraise Up, which is
they're going to optimize for this.
Human Stack partners with often. Are they already optimizing?
They're going to, because that's the charge.
I mean, I don't even think we have to go that far, but that is a great point because I think it really is just at a philosophical level. We have this tendency to just start pretending AI is brand new. It's never existed. So we have to rethink all of our strategies on it and put it through a weird frame that some of these questions just don't fit in. So if you want to be out invisible, on Google, it's the same question. It is just the same question. So I don't know. That's my opinion. Of course, like I hold it strongly because all of mine are, but
I appreciate it. I do know
it's designing for your audience, because here's the thing. There's tons of smaller community-driven nonprofits, right? And let's remove the $50,000 below stuff, right? Like, let's focus on a $250,000 nonprofit. I've had a lot of organizations that even outright, they're like, I don't need prospect like appends and enrichment because I literally know everybody in my community. And I could just sit down and talk with them. Or I work with an older population. They're not using Google to find me. They already know where I am. So it's like /direct is what Google Analytics is going to show me. So it's not even a get left behind thing. It's like, what's your audience first? I think I think we have a frustrating tendency to skip I think you're right. That's a good point. Stack. That's a good point. Immediately start designing for a mythical audience that we might not understand. That's almost all of my work, is like getting us to
But you
stop
would
and
have
go,
asked
"Who
that
is
question when you were deciding if you were going to rank on Google, right? Like if
Yeah, I mean, at
if
least
that mattered
have-
to
at
you, that
least
would have been an
float it.
audience centric. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, because it's like,
Yeah.
who
All right.
were we
I'm pulling it.
optimizing to search for us?
Tim's got to give his upskillerator in 2 minutes, and he's always late. So he's not allowed to be late today. He's not always late. I usually keep him late. Mitt, it was wonderful to have you.
Yeah, Mitt, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Tim, great to have you as well.
Burning
I
my
need 30
hand.
seconds. I need 30 seconds on what your game is that folks can look forward to on August 18th. So I can leave that sound bite and then we'll kick you off.
The Generosity Roundtable is an educational gaming system to help teams cut down on circular meetings and find alignment, set boundaries, set actions. It's used by big and small nonprofits. It leads into a much larger peer learning network with people like Brian. Megan Walsh is part of it too. These hosts facilitate conversations. We're going to have one on August 18th with Leah Simmons of Better Unite and some other friends and guests. Would love to talk about you folks joining us sometime as well, or us facilitating something here. But just, go to generosityspectrum.org and you can start to learn more about all of it, because we're ultimately trying to learn and get more confident about generosity, identity, and trust. Tech is definitely part of that. But ultimately, what is that larger layer of understanding? Who are we? That's it.
I love that. Thank you so much, everybody. Make sure you give Tim some love in the chat.
Thank you.
Mitt as well. Thank you so much, Tim, for joining us. As always, I love that you just hop in.
I'll figure out the camera next time so I'm not breaking my neck.
I'm so sorry. We'll get it figured out with you.
No, All right.
Thank you so much. Thanks. We appreciate it.
Awesome.
Bye, Tim. Great to see you.
All right. I'm going to pop him backstage here. And Tim Lockie, our notes, for what it's worth, are over in the side for us. I do want to say thank you, everybody. That is the show. The tools changed while we were gone, as we know, but your people didn't. They never do. That's the work, and that's what the show is for.
So tell us in the chat or in the comments what you want to dig into next. We read all of it, and today proved the headlines will keep us busy either way.
Thanks for playing, everybody. Thanks, Tim Lockie, Tim Sarantonio, and Mitt for playing, and everybody in the chat. And thanks for being back with us. Make sure you follow the Human Stack on LinkedIn and subscribe to the channel on YouTube so you catch the next one the moment it drops. Until next time, you guys, stay curious.
Stay human.